Jon Moxley just destroyed Triple H and exposed WWE's most disgusting fraud. The former WWE champion went absolutely nuclear on social media, revealing that Seth Rollins' career-threatening injury and hospitalization was completely faked by Triple H to manipulate storylines and defraud insurance companies. And the evidence Moxley provided will make you sick. This isn't just wrestling drama, this is Moxley exposing WWE's systematic medical fraud, insurance scams, and the complete manipulation of their own wrestlers for corporate profit. Triple H's response? Silence. Because he knows Moxley caught him red-handed in the biggest scandal in wrestling history. What we're about to reveal will destroy your faith in WWE forever. Seth Rollins isn't injured, he's being held hostage by his own company in an elaborate fraud scheme that could send WWE executives to prison. The Moxley bombshell at 3:47 a.m. EST, Jon Moxley posted a 47-minute video that obliterated WWE's carefully constructed lies. The purveyor of violence didn't just criticize Triple H, he provided documented evidence of the Seth Rollins injury fraud that will destroy careers. Paul Levesque is a lying piece of sh*t. Moxley screamed directly into the camera. Seth Rollins isn't injured. He's being held prisoner by WWE to fake an injury for insurance money and storyline manipulation. Moxley's rage was so authentic and terrifying that several social media platforms initially removed the video for violent content before being forced to restore it due to its newsworthy nature. The medical records leaked. The most damning evidence came when Moxley revealed stolen medical records proving that Seth Rollins passed every physical examination and shows no signs of injury. WWE's own doctors cleared him for competition just days before his career-threatening diagnosis. "I have the real medical files," Moxley declared, holding up official WWE medical documents. Dr. Sampson cleared Seth for unlimited wrestling activity on Tuesday. By Thursday, they're claiming he needs career-ending surgery. The medical timeline makes no sense unless WWE is systematically lying about their wrestlers' condition for financial gain. The insurance fraud scheme. Moxley's investigation uncovered WWE's massive insurance fraud operation where they fake wrestler injuries to collect millions in disability payments while keeping performers under contract. WWE has collected over $50 million in fraudulent injury claims over the past 3 years, Moxley revealed with supporting documents. They're running the biggest insurance scam in sports entertainment history. The evidence shows systematic patterns of fake injuries coinciding with large insurance payouts and convenient storyline developments. The Triple H cover-up. Most shocking is Moxley's revelation that Triple H personally orchestrated Seth's fake injury to cover up his own booking failures and creative incompetence. Hunter needed an excuse for why his golden boy Seth was failing as champion, Moxley explained. So he invented a fake injury to write him off TV and blame it on bad luck instead of admitting his booking sucks. Triple H's ego couldn't handle criticism of Seth's championship run, so he destroyed his wrestler's career with a manufactured medical crisis. The Seth Rollins hostage situation. Perhaps most disturbing is Moxley's claim that Seth Rollins is being held against his will by WWE, forced to maintain the injury charade under threat of financial destruction. Seth wants to wrestle, Moxley declared, but WWE is threatening to sue him for contract breach if he reveals he's perfectly healthy. They're holding him hostage with legal threats. WWE has essentially kidnapped their own wrestler, forcing him to lie about his medical condition to support their insurance fraud. The hospital conspiracy. Moxley's investigation revealed that the hospital where Seth was allegedly treated has no record of his visit. The entire hospitalization was staged at a facility that WWE executives have financial connections to. The hospital is owned by the same investment group that owns part of WWE. Moxley exposed. They're using their own medical facilities to create fake injury documentation. WWE literally owns the hospital they're using to fabricate medical evidence. The conspiracy goes deeper than anyone imagined. The doctor bribery scandal. Even more shocking is evidence that WWE bribed multiple doctors to provide false diagnoses supporting Seth's fake injury. Medical professionals were paid to lie about their examination results. "I have bank records showing payments from WWE to doctors who never even examined Seth," Moxley revealed. They're buying fake medical opinions to support their insurance fraud. The systematic corruption of medical professionals represents a massive violation of healthcare ethics and federal law. The Stephanie McMahon connection. Moxley's expose reveals Stephanie McMahon is the mastermind behind WWE's medical fraud operation. The chief content officer has been orchestrating fake injuries for years to manipulate storylines and insurance claims. Stephanie is the one giving orders to fake these injuries, Moxley declared. She's turned WWE into a criminal organization that profits from lies about wrestler health. The woman who claims to care about performer safety is actually the architect of their systematic medical exploitation. The creative desperation. The fake injury reveals Triple H's complete creative bankruptcy. Rather than book compelling storylines, he resorts to manufactured medical emergencies to generate sympathy and interest. Hunter is so creatively bankrupt that he has to fake injuries to create drama, Moxley observed. He can't write good stories, so he invents medical emergencies. WWE's creative team has become so incompetent that they need to fake medical crises to generate emotional investment from fans. The financial motive. Moxley's investigation uncovered the massive financial benefits WWE gains from fake injuries. Insurance payouts, merchandise sales, and sympathy storylines generate millions in profit. WWE makes more money from fake injuries than real wrestling, Moxley revealed with financial documents. They've turned medical fraud into their most profitable business model. The company profits more from lying about wrestler health than from actual athletic performance. The legal implications. Legal experts who reviewed Moxley's evidence suggest WWE faces potential federal charges for insurance fraud, medical malpractice, and racketeering. The criminal liability is massive. This level of systematic medical fraud could result in decades of prison time for WWE executives, explained a federal prosecutor. We're talking about organized crime charges. WWE's fake injury scheme has crossed from unethical business practices into serious federal crimes. The wrestler exploitation. Moxley's expose reveals how WWE systematically exploits their wrestlers by forcing them to participate in medical fraud that damages their reputations and mental health. Seth is being destroyed psychologically by having to lie about his health, Moxley explained. WWE is torturing their own wrestlers with these fake injury schemes. The psychological damage to wrestlers forced to fake injuries represents workplace abuse at the highest level. The fan deception most insulting is how WWE has systematically deceived their own fans, manipulating emotions and extracting money through completely fabricated medical emergencies. WWE fans are paying money to be lied to about wrestler health, Moxley declared. They're profiting from fake sympathy for fake injuries. The emotional manipulation of fans through fabricated medical crises represents consumer fraud on a massive scale. The industry corruption. Moxley's revelation exposes systematic corruption throughout the wrestling industry, with other promotions potentially involved in similar medical fraud schemes. This isn't just WWE, Moxley warned. The entire wrestling industry has been corrupted by fake injury schemes designed to defraud insurance companies. The corruption extends beyond one company to potentially implicate the entire professional wrestling business model. The media complicity. Wrestling media outlets that reported Seth's injury without investigation are now facing credibility crises. Their failure to investigate obvious inconsistencies makes them complicit in the fraud. Wrestling journalists are either incompetent or paid off, Moxley declared. They reported fake medical information without doing basic fact-checking. The systematic failure of wrestling journalism to investigate medical claims has enabled WWE's fraudulent schemes. The social media war. WWE's immediate response was to launch a coordinated social media attack against Moxley, using bot accounts and paid influencers to discredit his revelations. Within minutes of my video posting, thousands of fake accounts were attacking my credibility, Moxley observed. WWE's social media manipulation machine went into overdrive. The systematic social media suppression proves WWE's consciousness of guilt regarding their fraudulent practices. The government investigation. Federal authorities are reportedly opening investigations into WWE's medical fraud schemes following Moxley's revelations. Multiple agencies are now scrutinizing the company's practices. The FBI is treating this as organized fraud, revealed a law enforcement source. Moxley's evidence has triggered multiple federal investigations. WWE now faces the full weight of federal law enforcement investigating their systematic criminal activities. The international implications. Moxley's expose has created international scrutiny of American wrestling's medical practices. Foreign athletic commissions are questioning WWE's safety protocols and medical reporting. International regulators are horrified by WWE's apparent medical fraud, noted a global sports official. This could affect their ability to operate internationally. WWE's fraud schemes are damaging America's reputation in international sports entertainment markets. The sponsor revolt. Corporate sponsors are fleeing WWE following Moxley's revelations about systematic fraud and medical deception. No legitimate business wants association with criminal organizations. Sponsors cannot be associated with companies that commit insurance fraud, stated a marketing executive. The brand damage is catastrophic. The sponsor exodus could bankrupt WWE as their criminal behavior makes them untouchable in the corporate world. The talent exodus. WWE wrestlers are reportedly seeking contract releases following Moxley's revelations about the company's willingness to fake injuries and exploit performers. Nobody wants to work for a company that might force them to fake injuries, revealed a WWE performer. Moxley's expose has terrified the entire locker room. The talent revolt could destroy WWE's entire roster as performers flee a company that systematically abuses and exploits them. The Seth Rollins prison. Most heartbreaking is Moxley's description of Seth Rollins as a prisoner of his own company, forced to maintain a lie that's destroying his career and mental health. Seth is trapped, Moxley explained with genuine emotion. He wants to wrestle, but WWE has him locked in legal and financial chains that prevent him from telling the truth. The image of WWE's former Golden Boy as a hostage to corporate fraud represents the ultimate corruption of sports entertainment. The medical professional outrage. Legitimate medical professionals are outraged by WWE's apparent corruption of healthcare ethics and the systematic bribery of doctors to provide false diagnoses. WWE has corrupted medical professionals and violated every principle of healthcare ethics, declared a medical ethics expert. This is an attack on the integrity of medicine itself. The medical community is demanding investigations and prosecutions of all healthcare providers involved in WWE's fraudulent schemes. The insurance industry response. Insurance companies are reportedly launching massive investigations into WWE's claims history following Moxley's revelations of systematic fraud. We're reviewing every WWE injury claim from the past decade, revealed an insurance investigator. The patterns Moxley identified suggest widespread fraud. WWE faces potential liability for hundreds of millions in fraudulent insurance claims spanning multiple years. The Congressional Attention Members of Congress are reportedly calling for hearings into WWE's business practices following Moxley's expose of systematic fraud and performer exploitation. Congress needs to investigate WWE's apparent criminal activities, stated a legislative source. This goes beyond sports entertainment into organized crime. WWE may face congressional scrutiny and potential federal legislation regulating their business practices. The cultural impact. Moxley's revelations have triggered broader discussions about corporate exploitation, medical fraud, and the corruption of American entertainment industries. WWE's fraud represents everything wrong with American corporate culture, observed a cultural critic. Moxley has exposed systematic corruption that goes beyond wrestling. The scandal has become a symbol of corporate America's willingness to commit fraud for profit. The historical context. Wrestling historians note that Moxley's expose represents the most significant corruption scandal in professional wrestling history, surpassing even the steroid trials of the 1990s. This makes the steroid scandal look minor, noted a wrestling historian. Moxley has uncovered systematic criminal fraud at the highest levels. WWE's medical fraud schemes represent a new low in sports entertainment corruption. The personal vendetta. Some observers suggest Moxley's expose is motivated by personal hatred for Triple H rather than genuine concern for wrestling integrity. Moxley has always hated WWE management, noted a wrestling analyst. This could be personal revenge disguised as whistleblowing. However, the extensive documentation Moxley provided suggests his motivations are less important than the evidence he's revealed. The Triple H silence. Triple H's complete silence following Moxley's explosive revelations is deafening. His refusal to address the specific accusations suggests consciousness of guilt. Hunter's silence is admission, Moxley declared in a follow-up post. If my accusations were false, he'd be suing me already. The lack of legal response from WWE suggests they cannot dispute Moxley's evidence in court. The truth movement. Moxley's expose has sparked a truth movement among wrestling fans demanding transparency about performer health and corporate practices. Fans are demanding real medical information, observed a fan advocacy group leader. Moxley has awakened a demand for honesty. The fan movement could force WWE to abandon their fraudulent practices and provide genuine transparency. The industry reckoning. Wrestling industry insiders suggest Moxley's revelations could trigger a complete reckoning of business practices throughout sports entertainment. This could change everything, noted a wrestling executive. Moxley has forced the entire industry to confront its corruption. The expose may represent a watershed moment that transforms professional wrestling's business model. The ultimate vindication. Moxley's courage in exposing WWE's systematic fraud represents the ultimate vindication of his decision to leave the company and speak truth to power. John sacrificed his WWE career to maintain his integrity, observed a wrestling journalist. Now he's proven that his principles were right all along. The former WWE champion's moral courage has been completely vindicated by his explosive revelations. The call for justice. Wrestling fans must demand justice for WWE's systematic fraud and the exploitation of performers like Seth Rollins. This level of corporate corruption cannot go unpunished. Share Moxley's evidence, demand federal investigations, and boycott WWE until they face consequences for their criminal activities. Support Jon Moxley's courage in exposing the truth. His sacrifice to reveal WWE's corruption deserves recognition and protection. The revolution begins. Jon Moxley's expose represents the beginning of a revolution against corporate corruption in professional wrestling. His courage has inspired others to speak truth to power. The wrestling industry will never be the same after Moxley's revelations. His evidence has triggered investigations, scandals, and a complete reckoning of business practices. Seth Rollins deserves freedom from WWE's fraudulent schemes. Triple H deserves prosecution for his criminal activities. And Jon Moxley deserves recognition as a hero who risked everything for the truth. This is Wrestling News CC, where we stand with whistleblowers who expose corporate corruption. Jon Moxley's courage in revealing WWE's fraud makes him a hero of wrestling journalism. The truth is out there, and Moxley has forced it into the light. WWE's systematic fraud has been exposed, and justice must follow. Support Jon Moxley. Expose WWE's fraud. Free Seth Rollins. Prosecute Triple H.